It's in the Discord.
I see it now.
You guys do know we have a Discord, right?
That's where I get the link.
That's where everything comes from. Discord.
That was good timing. Podcast topics.
I love that one. That's my favorite.
You stuck-up, half-witted,
Yes.
looking nerf herder.
Nerf herder.
I'm just waiting on You're Breaking My Heart, Anakin.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Nobody likes her, so we don't want to hear it.
You don't like her. Everybody else does. All right? We get it.
Whatever. Oh, I forgot to log into my Twitch.
Oh man,
You guys,
Ooh.
Yoda best.
Yoda
Just so you
best.
know.
I like that
that's
one.
a cute one. I like
Here's-
that one.
Here's my new one, Jared. Oh, you already saw it.
Oh,
You already
wait,
saw
Yeah,
it.
well, yeah, let's show everybody
Oh,
else.
okay,
that's-
here we go.
that's Jumping in. There we go.
Yeah, we had to rep Grogu this week, so yeah.
It is Grogu
It's Grogu.
everywhere.
Grogu.
Grogu.
Grogu we
Grogu for
trust.
president.
I'd vote
I
today.
would. Like right now.
Sure you would.
Right now.
Hey, what's up, guys? Everybody out there watching and everybody here hanging out.
Yay.
Definitely jump in, hang out, throw some comments in there if you want to. Ask questions, whatever you got. We're going to roll through it. First, we are the Marauders,
Hey.
and we are rolling on number 36, I think. 37
36?
episodes.
Dang.
That's wild.
We have been actually knocking this out.
That's wild. We've
good.
only had, 2 weeks where we haven't had a podcast?
Yeah, and one was Thanksgiving.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
doesn't count.
I don't know if you guys wanted to watch me like chow down on pumpkin pie and turkey and stuff. That would have been kind of nasty,
I'm
probably.
not a big fan of watching people eat. That's not my cup of tea.
Hey, I think, isn't Christmas, or is it Christmas Eve on a Thursday this year?
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
Is it Christmas Eve?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, no. Well, I have my family Christmas. I suppose I could not let my kids open their presents Christmas Eve.
No.
We'll
I
have to
won't-
discuss that.
I won't be in the state. We're going to Colorado and going snowboarding.
You got a phone
Nice.
though, right? You got a phone.
Yeah, you could get on the
You can jump
slopes.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
we
Justin,
Justin pull the boat, so you can.
There's an echo. Hold on. There we go.
That would
Ooh.
that would be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
She's on the slopes.
I don't think
She's going
so.
down.
This is my first time to ever snowboard.
so it should be on the bunny hill.
So it'll be more like, that part.
Yeah. I broke my thumb the last time I went skiing, so I can't say anything.
This should be interesting.
Okay, real quick. Everybody introduce yourselves. Let's start with Grogu's #1 fan.
That's right. So I'm Grogu's #1 fan.
She's not.
Hi, how are you? I am, actually. I cried, okay? I cried.
Is there like a
this
is there a
episode,
test
so
for
everybody
that?
knows.
There is.
Or-
I would win it.
Did you cry? Did you shed any tears? I don't
Show,
think so.
show me what you have behind you. I don't see any Grogu.
Hey, I've got Baby Yoda stuff. It's just
All I
like-
hear are excuses. I'm not seeing anything.
I
It's-
don't know
I
who's
don't know
Baby
what
Yoda. Nobody here knows Baby
Grogu.
Yoda. What are you talking about?
I have Grogu stuff. I think my
So-
niece took off with it,
So
actually.
who's my daddy? Who's that guy?
Yo, what's going on? This your boy
Your
Ed
dad?
Grogu's daddy, and all things nerdy over here.
I love your hat. I just noticed it.
That's so good.
I like
And his
that.
shirt. Come on, show off the
Fun,
shirt.
Yeah, show the shirt.
Show the shirt since you have to
We
show
got
us all up.
Luke. We got Luke, Han, Rebels, and Leia.
Oh, I love that.
Look, it takes
That's a
it
good
takes
one.
someone so much manlier than me to pull off pink. Like
Well, I had
I couldn't
that.
do it.
That's the pink in Grogu's ears.
I
You
couldn't
know?
It looks
do
more
Ooh,
salmon.
matching
Looks more
stuff.
salmon.
Yeah,
to
I don't
me
know what
from
salmon
what
is.
I'm
It's
seeing.
salmon.
so.
That's what it is.
I'm Grogu. Not a fan. Not his daddy. Just him. So
No, you're not.
He is-
You're
he is-
sorry.
it's Grogu. I
He is
am
the
Grogu.
Gru.
He's so
That's
much
when you-
cuter.
that's when
No,
You got your animatronic.
you are not.
I do right here. Yep, he's I think he's turned off.
Yeah,
So,
he's probably
yeah.
turned off. That's
I think he's
cool.
turned off. Can't waste those batteries. So, but yeah, he's
I got
got his
my
little. He's got his little
I got
necklace.
my daughter the squeeze one, like you squeeze it and
This
it
one?
makes the noise.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah, I got
No,
that one
not that
for
one.
I got that one for my niece.
He's like maybe about. It's hard to. You can't really tell space in this. What am I doing?
I got the one that makes
It's
it
like
baby.
this big.
Yo, I ain't gonna front though. That Me Too Grogu's background is sick. Look at them posters.
Yeah. Precious cargo.
precious cargo.
Oh,
No. I'm talking about
Yeah.
that R2D2 and C3PO.
Oh
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, that go hard.
Yeah. Old school.
That's a good one. I actually
Love
stole
those
both of
guys.
these from my kids.
Hey,
That's
ain't
good.
nothing wrong with
I'm
that.
fine with that.
Mm-mm.
It's both of y'all's. You just
They
keep
live in your house. They're just renting
It's
space
mine.
for free.
Yeah, it's mine.
Yeah.
It's here. It's mine.
That's right.
Okay. So let's real quickly. Let's do our sponsor,
Sonic.
Sonic.
Thank you,
Thank
Sonic.
you, Sonic, for sure, for supporting us, keeping us going.
Are we gonna get like a we got a Halloween like blast? Are we gonna get a Christmas blast like with a
I
bunch
hope
of
not.
like peppermint candies and stuff?
No.
There's usually something that they come up with that's
No.
Hey, don't hate on. Sonic always come with it. You know.
No,
what I'm
I'm
I
not
love
hating on
Sonic.
anything.
I don't want peppermint. I don't like peppermint.
Bonnie,
But if
what
they-
do you like? Is this? I mean, this every
if
time.
If it's anything cheerful and happy, she's not
God.
there.
Yeah.
She doesn't like
It's not
Padme.
her.
We already know like you can't trust her opinion. Now
Well-
she doesn't like
It's
peppermint.
It's gonna
You know
be dark
Halloween-
and demented.
Halloween is her Christmas, so
That
that
is
That
her
is
Christmas. You are
That
right.
is true.
It's still one of my all
full blown on that one.
Just saying.
Yeah, so be sure, grab the app. There's always free stuff in there or half price stuff. Half price always on the
Drinks.
drinks.
Half price drinks.
Yep.
Got mine
Corn dogs
today.
for 50 cents every once in a
What'd you
while.
get?
I got a Coke Zero Easy Ice.
Oh.
Always.
I've been getting like Coke Zero or Sprite Zero with zero ice, and I actually like it.
Yeah, I've tried that a couple of times. It's not too bad. I just like that they remember too. By using the app, they remember your order, so you just have to go and click on your previous
Oh, that's
order.
cool. So you can
and
just
submit it.
Yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
it saves your last like 3 or 4 orders.
Yeah,
Mine's kind of a long one. It's like one, and then there's another one, and there's another one behind that, and they've got like previous even further back.
Yeah. It's awesome. The app is the way to go.
Anyways, thank you, Sonic, for
Thank
supporting
you,
us. Love you guys.
love you, Sonic.
Okay, so let's get on. We missed out last week, obviously, so we've got a lot of catching up to do on Mando. So, chapter 13, I believe it was. No, that was this last one, wasn't it? Which one was?
well, this is
the week before.
Let's say episode 4, season 2.
Yeah, episode 4 and 5.
Yeah.
But we're starting with 4. So, who wants to go first?
This is the one that was directed by Carl Weathers, right?
Oh,
Yes.
okay, it was that
So,
one.
The,
With
the, the
Right.
biggest thing that I wanted to say about it was that, you know what I'm saying, they did digitally remove Jean's guy. So,
Did they really?
yes, they removed him.
No.
Also,
Oh,
yeah, they digitally removed Jean's guy.
that disappoints
Yeah.
me.
There's no
I'm just
longer
glad I
canon.
got to see him.
Should have
That
left him.
The
Why
other
not leave
thing
him?
too,
That's
there-
like the dude with what's the running guy from episode 2, not from Mando, but from Empire Strikes Back. The guy with the ice
the
cream
ice
maker.
cream
That's yeah.
got a thing. Champ, you don't know?
No. Oh wait. Is this the guy?
It's Wood.
They actually
Wood
made an action
something.
figure.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes.
I
He's like a
would've known.
cult favorite, and at the conventions and stuff, people dress up as him,
Who?
and
They have
they
a
carry
running-
that. Yes,
And Filoni was actually one that did it too.
yes, 100%. That you see,
They actually
talk
talk
about
about
it in the behind the scenes for the first season of
Yeah.
Mandalorian. They talk about him. It's an obscure character from the Cloud from when they're on Cloud City. He's a
Oh,
character
yeah,
that
no.
literally just walks by the
think
camera
you-
shot, and he's got an ice cream maker in his hand,
Oh, that's
and
funny.
it's a whole thing.
Have you guys seen? I think it's in the first, or no, it's in episode 4, or episode 5 of the actual Star Wars movies.
It's Wilro Hood.
Yes,
That's who it is.
The stormtrooper when he hits his head.
Yeah.
Yes, that's when they're on the Death Star.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's another good
And they
one.
come out and they're shooting
Star
at him
Wars
across the
mother
chasm.
stuff. Yeah, it's
Yes.
hilarious.
But back to this episode, though. It was
Anyways.
a great,
Yes.
great
Yep.
episode. It was definitely tried to connect episode 9 in with when they were talking about cloning Snoke. So there were some ties into that. They never came out and said it was Snoke per se, but it does look like some of the early trial periods of trying to recreate. We found out the purpose of Grogu, and we got to see Mando really uses jetpack in this episode. They had great TIE fighter fights. You know, this episode was a lot. It was really good. And, you know, we had some moments with Grogu interacting with some other kids. So it was overall a good episode. I was really,
And
really
using the Force.
Yes, he did.
I like that part too. Got to see him use the Force more. I didn't realize, I guess too, because of this week's episode that, well, I guess we can get into it later, but it has to do with using the Force. Just remember to revisit that. Him and using the Force. And who else loved the part where he like threw up the blue milk?
He was a straight daredevil. I could take him to Six Flags. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool. I mean, it was a cool scene. It was well done. I was really impressed with the directing. Kind of caught me off guard. Like I didn't know anything about him. I didn't know how it was going to go. Ace or Grogu's daddy had told me before who was directing it, so I was intrigued. But I thought he did a really good job. You know, it wasn't like he wasn't the star of the show. I liked how they worked everyone into it, and it was a cool lore thing because obviously when they mentioned the how did they word it, Ace?
The M count.
Oh yes, the M count. Like I lost my crap when they said the word M count because obviously, you know, I mean, for the people that don't know, it's midichlorians. I mean, I'm sure everyone knows by now. They're talking about midichlorians, which are obviously the things that in your body that make you a Jedi. Essentially, it's the Force in a Force user's body. So it's cool to me that they mention that. I'm of a little different opinion. At least I'm hoping that Ace is wrong on this episode 9 thing. Obviously, it's going to try and tie in 7, 8, and 9. I'm hoping it doesn't. I'm hoping this is more of like a super soldiers or they're just trying to breed Jedi. Or like, you know, basically like get their soldiers to have the Force by manipulating the midichlorian count in their blood and stuff like that. And they mentioned, you know, when we saw in season 1 when Grogu was on the table and they were doing whatever it is they were doing to him, now we know they were taking his blood. And they've run out, so that's why they need Grogu. So I thought that was pretty cool. I think Ace is probably going to wind up being right with it being maybe a Snoke clone or something, but I'm hoping it's not.
Here's the thing, though. I don't think it's necessarily for Snoke, though. See, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bon Bon.
No, I was just gonna kind of throw into because he was talking about them draining Baby Yoda or Grogu's blood.
Mm-hmm.
But in that episode, they talked about how they already have a donor and that they had drained his blood. And did you watch I'm sure you did, Grogu's daddy, the new Rockstars breakdown?
I did.
So I'm kind of like wondering if it's Palpatine's son that they were talking about.
Well, I thought
the current donor.
Yeah, I think they were talking about who they were trying the stuff on.
Yeah,
and that didn't work. So that would be a nice way, another way to tie it in. And the reason why it's not so much for them trying to make Snoke, more so them trying to bring back Palpatine. Like in order to make this whole thing, the thing is we want the Star Wars story to tie in. It's not even about 7, 8, and 9. It's about the entire story. I mean, we've been talking about clones since the beginning. I mean, that was in episodes 1, 2, and 3, and even in the Clone Wars. So it would only make sense for them to go ahead and tie this story together. I mentioned this back in some of the early episodes of the Marauders podcast, is that, you know, we get these stories immediately, right? And then you have all of the EU, you have the comic books, you have the novels, all of these things. Eventually, we want these things to tie in, so that's why we're enjoying season 2 of Mandalorian so much, because a lot of stuff, a lot of Easter eggs have been put into these episodes, and we want those things to pay off. So if that's the case, we need this entire story to link up. And one of the things that I mentioned earlier was that we got 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then they started giving us like the Clone Wars and stuff like that, and it started to make 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6 feel better because we got the extra information. So the 7, 8, and 9, a lot of people probably aren't going to still like them, but if you can find a way, and Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are the guys to do it, if they can make those stories tying together, it will make them a little bit more enjoyable.
I agree with you. I think that's what they're trying to do, is kind of tie in Mandalorian into what we've already got.
Here's what I have serious problems with, though. If we're gonna say that that Gideon's mission or whatever is to figure out how to clone the Emperor, like like to me, this is a misstep because we've always talked about how Palpatine always had contingency plans, and Palpatine was always looking to the future and making like what ifs. So my thinking is Palpatine ruled the galaxy, right? They hunted the Jedi. Obviously they killed off the Jedi Temple. Like Palpatine should have foreseen that he might need a clone body, right? We know Palpatine was messing with cloning going all the way back to episodes 1, 2, and 3. We know that he had a hand in making the actual clones. So I feel like Palpatine would have been doing the experimenting long before Gideon. Obviously, he didn't master it.
That is what's been happening, bro.
Right, but so why is Gideon?
That's part of the contingency. The thing is that you and I both have spoke, right, and said, what if we end up seeing a Sentinel droid in this in the Mandalorian?
Right.
So the thing is, they can't give it all to us in once. Y'all even told me that in some of the episodes I didn't necessarily like. So the thing is that this is part of the contingency. We, like you said, we know that Palpatine's original mission was to find a way to cheat death, which is why he killed his master. And he thought Anakin was going to help out with that. And that obviously didn't pan out. So the thing is, he never did figure it out because every time he tried to clone something that it didn't work with, when you're talking about messing with somebody with a high M count or a force user. So that's been the thing. You were able to clone clones, but regular, DNA, but they weren't able to do that with force users. So that's been the mission. So that's why we got a quote unquote deformed Palpatine in 9. But outside of that, though, that's still, even if you take away 7, 8, and 9, we know from the novels and everything that we've read that that's always been the mission of Palpatine, to find a way to have himself come back. So if he put a Sentinel droid in there to tell Moff Gideon to continue the mission on trying to get me back, that's what it is. I mean, and I think that's still part of a Star Wars story.
I mean, I get it. I'm with you on the Sentinel droid. That would make more sense to me if this is under the direction of Palpatine. But I feel like if Exegol is where their main cloning vat is, I guess we don't know if Exegol is even in anyone's mind yet. Because at this point in the story, basically, the First Order is still outside the Rim, right? And they're rebuilding their forces outside the galaxy. So these are remnants of the Empire. And when you read, forget the name, the Aftermath series, when you read the Aftermath stories, the Sentinel droids went to the various remnants of the Empire's fleets. Basically people that Palpatine trusted and stuff like that. And basically they enacted Operation Cinder. They told Sloane's fleet to go outside, basically to go outside the galaxy and basically start preparing. So my thinking is like if the galaxy's fallen and Palpatine knows this, and basically we have fractions of the Empire's fleet, they're not unified, anything like that. Why would Palpatine want the cloning facilities and the things that are trying to bring him back to be inside Republican control or Republic controlled territory? Why wouldn't he want that mission to be done outside the galaxy?
But that's the thing, though, bro. He had the mining facility on Jakku. I mean, the thing is, and they were doing testing and stuff there. Like, he had facilities in multiple places because of contingencies. So the thing is that you put them in rural places because nobody thought, like, who thought it was going to be on Navarro where they were at. Nobody even knew that the base was. They thought it was like pieces and parts of the Empire there. They didn't know that facility was there. So I think that he has facilities hidden all over the galaxy. And so the thing is that because if one person doesn't figure it out, somebody else may figure it out. That's why the Sentinel droids are there to monitor progress. And so I just think that it seems to me that it will be all a part of the plan of trying to get Palpatine back. That's my opinion.
So what do you think were they stormtroopers that were in the black getup?
They were dark troopers.
Dark troopers. So what are those guys?
Aren't they? I don't know the history of them, but aren't they like part? Go ahead.
They came from Star Wars Dark Forces, which was a actual video game that you could play, and basically they're just like, if you think of the droid army, but they're like top tier, like they're way above anything. Like they can actually be like. They hit their shots. They're not like normal stormtroopers.
Well, they must be above the Death Trooper then.
It would be the most elite of the stormtroopers, as elite as you could get.
So I wonder why we're just now seeing them. Well, and that was kind of my
because
thing too.
they
Because
were
we saw
taken
him
out,
with.
is why.
It was an EU thing. It wasn't.
Yeah,
And
so-
that's what Filoni and Favreau are doing. They
Well,
and they said it in that first Disney behind the scenes thing, that they were basically taking the toys that Big Brother wouldn't let them play with. I mean, would give them and just use them to make them the stars. And so they're taking pieces and parts like the Crate Dragon, the Crate Pearl, all of those little bitty things. They are
Right. My only question here is why are we seeing it in that episode? So I'm wondering if like there's a tie-in to those guys and what's going on with the cloning. I don't know. It was just kind of my thoughts is what's going on. Why are those?
I think they're giving us. I think they're just giving us some more antagonists in the.
Well,
whole
I mean, we know
set of
that they
things.
were using Grogu's blood to experiment with the M, and I think that they were giving it to stormtroopers. Now, maybe they were giving them to the shadow troopers, or maybe they're giving it, That's what my thinking is. My thinking is they're trying to create a force sensitive stormtrooper, like an elite squad. But again, like we don't know. I mean, Ace is more likely right, but that's what I'm kind of hoping.
And we did see that Moff Gideon had on one of those suits as well.
Yes, he did.
One of the.
Yeah, he was wearing the armor.
Okay.
It was more remnant of like Darth Vader, though. It had a Darth Vader look to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think what we're gonna see in this whole thing, I don't know if. I think Filoni and Favreau they're hinting towards 7, 8, and 9 with the cloning. But I don't think that they're going. I think they're just going to get you a set of, like, an understanding of, okay, they're trying to do this and they're trying to create stuff. I don't think they're going to say this is Palpatine or this is Snoke. I don't think we're going to get that. I think we're getting a taste of they're just trying to help you understand how did we get where we got to in 9. I don't think they're ever going to say that that's what that is.
Well, that was like a 40-year gap, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is, but I don't think I don't think they're gonna connect it in that way. Like you said, I think it's just the introduction of the idea of them trying to master cloning, so that we could accept the fact that Palpatine came back.
I agree with you,
Philip. That is, Rey's dad is a failed clone of Palpatine.
Yeah, which we find out in episode 9.
Because in other places you hear that he was actually a real son of Palpatine. So it's they have not really defined it.
Mm-hmm.
Or writing. And as for maybe being genetically related to, I don't believe so, because we know that he was in the temple at the fall, which look, I guess we're jumping to episode 5. We get a lot of Grogu's backstory in episode 5, which if we're going to go there, let's go there. So episode 5 to me, I mean, from the opening scene, like the minute it starts, I'm thinking, oh no, we won't get to see Ahsoka to the end. Like, how are they going to pull this off? No, man.
Hey, by the way, extra spoilers.
Yes.
So
if you haven't seen it, turn off the podcast. Like, come on. If you haven't seen it yet, what are you doing?
Take like a 5-minute break if you don't want to know.
The single, like, from the moment the episode started, like, it went hard and it went fast and it was just beautiful. The character is so. Look at him.
You have to do it like she was doing it though, like hold the lightsaber.
Fail. That was a fail right there.
Like, I'm guessing Charlie must have had my.
Blame it on the kids. Good call. Good call. So well done, like so well shot. The atmosphere, the mood, like the character is so well done, and you can tell, like this is Filoni's like love letter to the character that he created and he raised, and you can feel it in every shot of this episode, and like hats off to Filoni. Like, obviously I'm a Filoni guy, but hats off. It was so well done. The character
it felt like a Clone Wars samurai show.
Oh, God, just so beautiful.
And the beautiful thing about it is that George Lucas was actually on set when they were shooting.
Oh, that's cool.
She said that she saw them looking at her, but they weren't looking at her. They were looking at their creation in live action.
That's so cool.
And even her whole story on how she got cast was amazing. So, you know what I'm saying? It is dope. And I know a lot of people were disappointed that Ashley Eckstein did not get the opportunity to play her in live action, but I definitely thought that she did an incredible job as Ahsoka.
So.
She did a good job. And I love Ashley Eckstein's response. Sorry, Jared.
She also said that she was in the same room when like they were recording all that when they got the picture of George with Grogu. Because I don't know if anybody's seen that picture.
I have
actually,
not. So
Oh yeah, I'll send it to you. It's a great picture, even though it's blurry.
Yeah, it is. It is a little blurry.
So the episode itself, like crazy good episode. We get to see Ahsoka finally, but we also get a good amount of Grogu backstory. First off, we got his name. He's no longer Baby Yoda. It's Grogu. It's neat because we get a whole scene with Ahsoka and Grogu basically communicating through the Force, which is a fun, and this could be what maybe Bonnie was talking about. It's a fun addition because we haven't seen a lot of like Force communication in Star Wars. Obviously, Grogu doesn't use words. But we get a scene with Ahsoka and Grogu essentially communicating, and Grogu, or she's trying to feel him out and stuff like that, and we actually get Grogu's backstory, which to me is amazing.
There you go.
Oh
right
yeah.
Come on. George Lucas has one of those at home.
Yeah.
$4 million. That's
Of course.
literally just pocket change.
No,
Dude,
what I
I
was
would
talking
steal
about
that.
is how Ahsoka was saying that if he doesn't use the Force, that he'll eventually lose it. Like it's almost like if you don't use it, you lose it.
I think
what
more
she
of
was
like he's going to cut
saying,
himself off. I feel like this is a throwback to episode 8. Like, I mean, the Force would still be there because he would still have the midichlorian count in his body. But I feel like if he just, I feel like he's scared because she says that, and I feel like he's basically cutting himself off. Like if I don't use it, if I pretend that it's not there, then he's going to lose the connection. So, will he lose the Force? No, but maybe he loses the ability to communicate with the midichlorians in his body.
Is that and that's because of the lack of training, right?
It sounded to me a lot like it's when you go do something, you learn how to do something, but you don't do it for like 5-6 years, and you come back and you go, how does this work? I know kind of the points of how to make it work, but I don't have the whole thing anymore.
I just don't think that he's going to be formally trained. But I mean, we look at all of the Jedi that was not formally, like Luke had it for so long and never really used it, but then all of a sudden he connected and did it. Even Rey, and those are two of the most powerful Jedi out there. So I just think that I ultimately think that she just did not want to remove him from Mando, because she even said it like, look, the one of the best of us, once he was separated from the one that he loved, he flipped out. So I'm not about to do that because he's this young, and his anger for not being around you is dangerous. Like that's basically what she said. And
it's 100% a flashback to the throne room scene in episode 1 when Yoda's talking to Anakin and he's like, fear and anger I sense in you. And like it's 100% that moment. And you've got Qui-Gon and you've got Obi-Wan there, and they're like, this boy needs to be trained. And Yoda's like, I sense these things in you. And Yoda knows. Like, I mean, I strongly feel like Yoda knows. And then obviously after the death of Qui-Gon, when Obi-Wan tells him, I will train the boy.
Either way.
Yeah, I mean, I think Yoda's just like, okay, but like, this is that moment. This is her Yoda moment where it's like, hey, I sense these things. And I know Yoda sensed those things in him. And I've seen this road. Like, I mean, this episode, man, like, I don't know. I loved it. I'm
going to tell you the part that got me. For one, when she was explaining his backstory, heartbroken.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
The moment that that Din Djarin said his name, Grogu, and he turned up and looked at him. Like, for the first time my dad said my name. That's the way it felt.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that moment when, look, we're just going to spoil the whole episode. Let's just flip to the end since you went there. That moment where he goes on the ship and he's like, it's time to say goodbye. And I'm just like, and he's just asleep in his little hammock. And, we just found out the Mandalorian sleeps underneath him. Like, come on.
Hold your point right there, Shane. When he was sleeping in the hammock, though, when he was laid out, he looked like he had a huge weight lifted off his chest. He was exhausted because it was like, I finally feel understood. And like you said, finish it.
I mean, he goes in there and he picks him up, and you get that like bonding moment, and it's like it's no longer.
I hate it.
You cried at a bowling alley. Do we need this story real quick before I keep going?
No.
All right, Charles, you can just go ahead and type out the story. All right.
Yeah.
I need you to type that out for us.
We need to hit him with the link, maybe.
I think we've talked about this, haven't we?
Have we? Well, fill us in, Bonnie.
Finish your story. Don't let him do it for you.
So anyway, so
Me
you
and
know,
Rosie's daddy is. We've talked about this before.
yeah.
at
So
work.
he had told Ahsoka to wait, and he's having his moment with Grogu, and you see that bond. It's no longer like this is my mission. Like that's all he. You know, in the beginning, that's his mission. I just got to find what to do with this baby, and like you see the development. Like we saw it earlier in an episode. I think Ace mentioned it where he's become the dad. He's like, be good, show manners when he leaves him with the frog lady. Like we've seen this character development and this relationship, and then she's there and she's like, I'm not going to train him, and he's like, you promised, and she's like, I'm not going to separate him. You're essentially his father, and like, I mean, to me, it's like they've done such a good job building this relationship, and obviously Yoda doesn't do all the things that the Mandalorian does, but or Grogu, I'm sorry.
You're fine.
It's hard to describe like that whole thing, that whole scene right there. I'm like, surely, we're not going to see the end of Grogu, obviously, but like they did it so well in such a way of like, she knows he needs to be trained, but like we can't separate you two.
Two things about the training. I think part of it, yes, I do think for one, I think that there was something else that she told Ahsoka, that Grogu told Ahsoka that she didn't tell Mando. There's something else because it's like like something clicked for her. But the other thing too is her mission. She wasn't about to leave her mission.
Right.
And like you said, skipping to the end, she was looking for Grand Admiral Thrawn. Yep. And so for that aspect, she was not about to abandon that mission, even though she had this new challenge in front of her. But the other thing, the incredible writing that happened in this particular episode, which Dave Filoni wrote, in the beginning of the episode, he starts messing with the silver ball again, right? Mm-hmm. And that was the moment that they connected when he pulled that ball from his and you seen how excited then John was like,
he's like, yeah,
oh my God, like I knew you could do it. Like it was just, and so from that point she was like, nope, I ain't separating.
Yeah. And it's look, like we haven't really talked about his backstory. I mean, so Grogu was trained in the Jedi Temple. We know that Grogu was born the same year as Anakin, which I still believe that Grogu is the chosen one. But that's just me, since we haven't gotten a Kylo and Rey baby yet.
I think we threw this. I think we threw the chosen one out the window a long time
ago. Yeah. So Grogu was trained in the temple.
I like it.
We do have Ahsoka basically saying Yaddle doesn't exist. We're not going to go down that argument. So he was in the temple. So he did interact with Yoda. I mean, we don't know, but obviously he would have had interactions with Yoda and stuff like that. And Ace can help me make sure I'm not missing anything. But basically, during the fall of the temple, Grogu was taken out by someone.
Yes.
And he was hidden.
Yeah.
And he was hidden. And then she says, like, I sense loneliness. So there's a period after he leaves the Jedi Temple where it's kind of unknown, and she says, I sense fear and loneliness.
Which is where he cut himself off from the Force.
Which is where he cut himself off the Force, which opens, like, story-wise, like, who took him? Where did he go? Like, did the Empire get him? What happened?
Yeah.
So do you guys think he was there during the whole youngling slaughter?
Yes. I think
that's what I was thinking too.
That's when he was hidden.
I think as they attacked the temple, someone snuck him out the back door.
So
somebody believes it.
Anakin.
You said what?
He probably knew Anakin.
Well, I mean, the Jedi Temple was thousands of people.
Yeah, and the thing is he was trained. They just said he was trained by many masters.
Well, yeah, he's 50 years old, right?
50, yeah.
Or
so at this point,
52.
he's literally. I mean, how many years ago was it?
He was like 23 at the time.
Yeah, because I mean, we know Palpatine was in power for 30 years, so yeah, he's in his 20s, and think where he is now.
And he may not have been. He may have been in a toddler class,
like literally a diaper.
Yeah, because he would be in a toddler class for a long time because he ages so slow.
So I think some of the Yoda lore that I read said that basically he was 100 when he started. I think when he started doing things. And I think I sent a link in our group chat, but
like apprenticeship stuff.
Yeah, I think basically he was 100 when he really came, like when he would have been a teenager, which is like when we saw Obi-Wan as a Padawan and stuff like that. So we're really about 50 years from Grogu really being able to be a teenager. Like to me, he's probably like 9 or 10. Like he's a few years off from being able to communicate and really hold his own.
Some people believe that the librarian is the one that took him.
I like that.
That would make sense.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. It would make sense. There's a lot of, there's a lot of really cool things in these last 2 episodes.
Can I just say what the part of this episode got me real choked up?
Yeah.
because like I'm a huge Anakin fan, so therefore I'm a huge Ahsoka fan, and it was the part where she was talking about, sensing all the fear and stuff in him, and then talking about how she's seen firsthand what happens, when you flip to the dark side. Like, I don't know, I just lost it there.
So well done.
You know what though? Some fan, if you watch some of the fan made stuff, I'm waiting for a fan that when she's explaining that they flash back to the scene where she's fighting Vader.
We need that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need that.
Just know that I said it first here on the Marauders.
Here's some cool side stuff. Like, first off, we get to see the Mandalorian fight Ahsoka in the beginning. And to me, this is huge.
Yeah.
Like this is huge. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go back to my favorite Star Wars character of Revan. Like, this to me is how, like, this gives us an idea of how the Mandalorians could have held their own against the Jedi. Like, I've never seen a Mandalorian fight a Jedi other than Boba, but that's not in the new Star Wars where we get cool lightsaber duels and stuff. So like,
except for he was more like whoa.
But that's what I'm saying.
Hang on.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. But she attacks him with 2 lightsabers, and like he holds his own. He defends himself. He uses his bracers to block her lightsabers. So Beskar obviously can't be cut with a lightsaber.
Yep.
Like, it's really cool to me because, like, I mean, that's the Jedi's big advantage, right? They're lightsabers and obviously the Force. But if the Mandalorian's armor were immune to lightsabers, like, that is a huge advantage. Like, so to me, like, that's a really cool tie-in to like how the Mandalorian and the Jedi Wars would have fought. And then we see her fight. What was the lady's name? Ace?
Oh my gosh, Morgan. Oh my gosh, hold on, I'll look it up. Keep talking.
Ace will look it up. So we get to see.
Was an awesome fight.
The whole fight was. The whole fight was amazing.
When she like slams a little spear down, and it's like ding. It's like,
so she has a spear made out of Beskar, and obviously, basically, we get a lightsaber. Ahsoka with her lightsabers and her with the spear, and so Mandalorian gets the spear, which obviously leads us into him being able to fight Gideon with the darksaber, because obviously, he's got no
put that together. So thanks for
because he'll be able to block the darksaber and use it.
I was gonna say that was another good writing piece that I know that they're setting up is the fact, and I think that one person in our group said that. Oh, I think it was Joey that said that he thinks that Mando will eventually end up with the darksaber.
That would be. I could see that.
Really?
And Philip, I don't think, because Mando didn't know what the Jedi were when he was given the mission, so I don't think he's ever encountered another Jedi until Ahsoka. You got to remember,
the last thing he knew was they were like a sorcerer.
And so at this point in the Star Wars universe, like the Jedi are just coming out of being a myth again. So there's very, very few of them, and most people wouldn't know about them, and most people have never interacted. So,
and so we're talking about that chick that Ahsoka was fighting. So did anybody look into like where the world she came from that was destroyed?
I did not, but I knew something like didn't her people end up taking over different places?
Well, she's pretty much the last of it, but the world was it was on the tip of my tongue and I just had it. Where Darth Maul and Visage, Ventress, and all them came from.
Yeah.
What? Are you serious?
Yes.
I just remember Cara Dune was from Alderaan. Sorry, I had to throw that in there.
No, I can't. I don't know why I can't remember it now. I have to look this up.
So
her more about that stuff.
Her homeworld was where all the Night Sisters and
she was from a world. They don't think that they didn't say that she is a Night Sister because the Night Sisters pretty much.
Her name is Morgan Elsbeth.
Okay, that's really interesting.
Dathomir. That's what it was.
So she's from Dathomir.
She's from Dathomir, but she's not part of those 2 tribes. But that is the world. After the fall, the Empire did kind of like how they did the others. They destroyed that world.
Yeah, Dathomir got rocked because wasn't it Dooku that went and killed all of the Night Sisters? Didn't we see that in the Clone Wars or in some of the books, Ace?
Dathomir?
I didn't see it, so
I thought Dooku killed the Night Sisters on Dathomir.
That was in Clone Wars. They had a fight. I don't know. I didn't read the Dooku book, so I couldn't tell you. But
there's
there was a battle on, because that was when when Asajj Ventress went back to the Night Sisters because Dooku
And
basically exiled her.
so
yeah, and they did Savage or whatever his name was, Darth Maul's brother.
Yeah.
And all that stuff is where that came from.
when they originally canceled the Clone Wars series, there was an arc, a 6-episode arc that was supposed to be based or centered around Asajj Ventress that they never got to film, and they were all ready to go with it. So they turned it into a book. And I want to say it's the Asajj Ventress book, so it is canon because it's the Clone Wars era. But it explains that whole thing, and they talk about how basically all the Night Sisters got wiped out by Dooku because her sole mission was to kill Dooku there towards the end. So instead of filming those 6 episodes, they turned it into a book, and it's a really, really interesting, and that would be a great casting.
Yeah,
I
don't know.
I can see that, but at the same
like that.
That would be a great casting.
She's very, very busy though.
Yeah,
She's
I mean, it would be
very
hard to
busy.
get her. It'd be hard to get her. She's in so much stuff. And she's expensive.
sure
And let's
that
be
doesn't.
honest, Star Wars doesn't do a lot of expensive people.
If you couldn't tell, y'all, we really enjoyed those 2 episodes, but
yes.
we are no longer just a Star Wars podcast, so we are going to move forward.
Push it on.
So,
Okay, so yeah,
Go ahead.
go ahead. No, you're good. Go for it.
I'm just gonna say, so Warner Brothers just dropped big news today. Apparently,
Boom.
they are about to change the industry up, according to Hollywood Reporter, and I don't know if they're the originators, but I'm just saying this is the article that I saw. They are not only putting Wonder Woman 1984 on HBO Max, they are also dropping a bunch of movies that were slated for 2021 on
Keep that list.
and that list includes The Suicide Squad, Matrix 4, Dune, Godzilla vs. Kong, Space Jam: A New Legacy, and Mortal Kombat, Tom and Jerry,
The Conjuring. Like, I'm excited about that.
and there's a bunch of other
Never
movies,
watched
but basically they are. I mean, some of the big movie like Dune. I mean, that's something that we actually saw the preview for.
Yep.
We went to go see Tenet, and so that just looked like something you wanted to see in the theater. But the thing is that if a company this big decides to do something like this, you have to think that all the other competitors like Disney are gonna follow suit. Of course, Disney is gonna wait right now to see what they're planning to do. But the biggest thing is this: Disney released Mulan on Disney Plus, but you had to pay the extra $30 in order to get it, and then it remained in your library. Well, Warner Brothers is saying, listen, if you got that HBO app, you get it with no
Day
extra
one.
charge.
Day
Yeah,
one.
that's cool.
And they're dropping it both on HBO Max and in the theaters, but some people by that time may not still feel comfortable with going to the movie theater. So they are going to play that. And so it's a lot of implications, because it's like, what does this mean for the movie theaters? What type of agreement do they have? But again, when you're trying to keep up with like a Netflix, HBO is basically projecting themselves ahead of the other competitors like Apple Plus and all these other streaming services that are developing. They are changing the game by releasing their movies on their app.
I mean, this is massive. I mean, from like you said, who knows how it affects?
Shane, your mic is gone, bro.
Your C-3PO again.
Yeah. The other thing, though, with this HBO Max deal is that they are going to take away the trial period. So you will no longer have the trial period available, because of the fact they know that some people are probably going to, do the trial period and try to drop it in 7 days.
All right, is that better?
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
There we go. Okay.
Good.
So this is massive. It's their entire 2021 lineup of movies, which is insane because they have an incredible list of movies for next year. And I also think this is their test. They're going to see how it goes next year, and if it goes well, and they pick up, I don't know how many millions of subscribers they would need, but if they pick up subscribers on HBO Max, I think this is going to be the new norm. I think it's coming. And it's interesting. I think Disney's going to take the approach of wait and see. I mean, obviously Disney's the major one because they have Marvel, they have Star Wars, they have Fox, they've got everything. So it's curious to see how the others respond, because this is a massive move for the streaming services. And this puts Disney on notice. Like Disney just charged everyone, like Ace said, $30 for Mulan. And they're giving you these movies day one for free. If you have the membership, you get to watch it. It's crazy. It's huge. And I'm curious to see how this affects. Like, what does this do to the negotiations with the theaters? Like, it's going to hurt the theaters. Do the owners start charging more? Like how does the theaters recoup this kind of money? Is this going to be just a 2021 because they're still worried about the Rona floating out there? I don't know. It's massive.
Jared, what do you think, bro?
I mean, I think what it's gonna do is it's gonna finish killing off the movie theater set, because I think I was trying to look up what Mulan actually made, but Disney has not set that out. But they did have 60.5 million subscribers at the time of Mulan being dropped. So even if they had half of that, that's pretty good in that sense.
I also heard that they're also releasing to where now studios can purchase movie theaters now. So would that be in the interest of some chains like Warner Brothers to buy movie theaters and release certain films in theaters? Like, what do y'all think about that?
I mean, that would be a good idea, because my thoughts are currently the situation we're in. Nobody's going out and watching movies. They're not releasing movies. So how are these theaters even paying their overhead at this point? Of course, they've got to have some kind of a mortgage or something on the building, and then, the bill to keep it running and all that stuff. So my thoughts were like, even if we get past all this, Rona's over with, I just don't see that the theater industry would actually still be here, because you can't afford to stay open if you're not making business, So having the like Warner Brothers purchasing theaters, I think I'd be for that, because everybody's going to want to get out of their house once all this is done. Like you'll want to go to the movies.
Well, what really sucks is the fact that we just had a brand new Warren theater built here in.
I know. It was my
foreclosed on. It was open. It was open for 2 months, and maybe a little bit longer than that, but still, it wasn't open a year, and it got foreclosed.
Yeah, it's already foreclosed.
I think we'll see. Basically, this will be the end of any small independent movie theaters. Obviously, we have like the majors. We've got I don't know all the brands, but we've got AMC, a couple others. Like there's a few major movie, Regal. So there's a few that own like thousands of theaters across the country. And I think what's likely to happen is that the only way the theaters survive is if studios buy out the chains. And maybe it's not just Disney owning AMC. Maybe it's Disney and another company, and that's what keeps them afloat. Because there will still be like, I don't think the experience will ever die. Because like, there is always going to be something special about going to sit down and watching a major Star Wars movie in a theater, or like
Marvel.
Think of the big like flagships things. Like the theater is an experience. We have IMAX, we have so much cool stuff. We have 3D. So like, I don't think that experience dies. I just don't think that it's going to be viable for like a mom and a pop or a locally owned business to have a theater run. I think it will be like AMC in partnership with Disney and Warner Brothers or something like that. And that's
actually not how movie theaters work, though. Movie theaters are owned by a local group of some kind, and AMC provides the movies for them, and then all of the money that they take in outside of the movie part is how that business stays in business.
I think that is what's going to die, personally. I think that it'll just be... I think that it'll be like one big umbrella, like a Walmart, essentially. I don't know. I could be totally wrong. I don't.
Shop.
Basically, like Amazon movie theaters.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Disney or Warner Brothers or any of these places are going to go start buying theaters just so they can put their movie in it, though. I don't think so either. That's a money that money is going to be lost either way. Even if they had people show up, it doesn't make sense for that to happen that way.
I just think that they're just going to start focusing on the streaming services, which Disney already said that that's what they were going to do. They weren't planning to release any Star Wars movies until like 2022 anyway. Yeah. So the fact that they are trying to basically get as much original content as they can to go on the streaming service, which is like, I don't understand why they are still holding on to Black Widow. Like we got
either.
They got to let it go.
I got to drop it.
Like,
Here's-
I'll
Yeah,
purchase that one.
Philip-
That one I'll purchase.
Here's the thing, though. Sorry, go ahead.
Real quick, Philip, they're not going to give bailouts to movie theaters like that. The best you would get is like the PPP loans that they could probably pull out to just keep employees if they can stay open and get movies coming in. That would be the only way that would work out.
If the theater industry dies, I strongly feel like we see the end of billion-dollar movies. Like, look at the cost of Lord of the Rings. I mean, look at the cost of the new Avatar films. Like if these studios do stop producing theater quality movies, you won't be able to have $350 million budgets. Like, I don't like look at Netflix movies. Like, Netflix puts out good movies, but they're not spending $300-400 million on a movie. Some of them are really expensive, because obviously they have stars and those get expensive. But I mean, I think it'll radically change the type. Now, we've seen with the Mandalorian and stuff like that, we've seen that they can do incredible things on small budgets. But I mean, I still think we'll lose something. Like, will we ever see another Titanic where they build half the dang ship and sink it? Like, do we lose that scale of production if we do go to streaming only services? I think we do, because I don't think you can risk $1 billion.
One last thing on this before we kind of push on to get one more topic in. So I looked up what somebody actually put out there what the app did. So they saw a 68% spike in the download, but they made 193% more when Mulan was dropped, when that happened. So, I mean, that in itself is, I don't know what that amount
It's not $1 billion.
It's not $1 billion, but if you multiply that times,
But
if
if
they
it's-
have 60,000 subscribers,
I mean,
whatever that
what is
number
that?
was
What
that I
was
that?
said earlier.
you get 10 million people to buy it, you've made 300 million. I don't know that 10 million subscribers are willing to pay $30.
Yeah, I didn't pay for it.
I didn't pay for it.
But you are paying for Disney Plus to have Mando because you like Mando,
Right.
you like the
100%.
Marvel stuff.
Right.
So I mean, the more content that they can throw on there, especially like with the Disney Plus when they're doing the whole parallax thing, and they can do it like 90% inside of a building and not have to go to a huge set and set everything up. I mean, they've cut their prices in half of how much they have to spend. I would think.
But unfortunately, they're going to do just like Netflix in about 3 years. They're going to up the Disney Plus price.
No doubt.
So,
They will. The price is going to go up.
No doubt.
I already pay for like the bundle because we have Hulu, and then I think we also get ESPN, but we don't ever watch it.
I just upgraded to the bundle.
Just in the last 2 months, the uptick with Hulu and with Netflix, they've all gone up about like $5 to $10. So I mean, they're slowly. They know that they have you in the hole. They got you there. They're gonna start cranking that up pretty soon.
And if they keep releasing movies on HBO Max, I guarantee you'll see a steep price.
Now
increase.
that I get for free with AT&T.
Which I'm one plan below that, so my upgrade might be in my future.
I'm just
AT&T.
saying.
You want to sponsor us? Hit me up.
but they're still making their money. It's not free. It's not coming free on your AT&T
It's
plan.
definitely not free. My
Oh
opinion.
no, it's not.
Let's kick this over real quick to replacing or not replacing Black Panther. I know that
I was going to tell
Grogu's-
you, Grogu's daddy, that Phil read me an article yesterday about who they cast for the Black Panther.
I actually didn't read it, so I did. Yeah, give me some info.
Did you read it?
Fill us in, Grogu's fan.
Did you read it?
no, I haven't read it.
You didn't?
I don't know my thoughts on what I think they should do.
Their Suri is going to be the new Black Panther.
Well, hold on, because Disney
Is
has
that a rumor?
Suri.
I've
Where did
heard.
you? Phil
Shuri,
read it to me yesterday. I want to say it came out in October.
no.
November.
I've seen those articles, but that's again Disney until Marvel or Disney comes out and makes that, because they haven't. Those have all been the rumors coming out that Shuri was going to take the mantle.
I think this was like an official article. Phil.
I mean, again, I'd have to see it.
He's
I'm not
saying
doubting. I just need to see it.
that article you read me yesterday about Black Panther.
What about it?
Send it to me.
Grogu's daddy has changed my opinion on this, so I want to hear his opinion, because I had a very different opinion
bring it.
until I talked to Grogu's daddy.
bring
Well,
it
I
up
was going to
close.
let everybody else give their opinion. I mean,
Well, I mean, I can give my
Go ahead.
I can give
Yeah,
my
yeah,
opinion real quick. I definitely think Shuri. I mean, I don't know. I know that it's happened. I know it happens in the comics. She takes over in that spot. I don't know if I like it right yet.
Yeah.
I would like something in between.
I
don't
agree with
know.
that. No, and that I do agree with that too. And my thoughts before old Phil over there read me that article yesterday was that not necessarily recast that character or Chadwick Boseman, but somebody from Wakanda, like becoming the Black Panther, like he, drinking the Black Panther juice and doing it that way.
That's so
My-
official. Drinking the Black Panther juice.
They drink the stuff, the purple stuff, and but yeah, my thoughts were that maybe he, in the show he passes away, and then somebody else comes up and takes the mantle of Black Panther that way.
I would love if we did something that is it Michael Jordan?
Michael B. Jordan,
Is he the one that plays his brother in that?
Killmonger,
Not
Killmonger.
not his brother. It's his
Cousin.
It's his cousin, yeah.
I wish we could have had that. Like we saw a kind of redemption at the end of that. That would have been kind of awesome for him to take the mantle. Because I feel like there needs to be a space before Shuri takes over. I think. I think it's too soon for what we're doing, but maybe they can make. I'm sure they can make it work.
So that's still a possibility.
Well, yeah. I mean, true. I guess it seemed like he kind of died, but
We saw Shuri.
That's true.
We saw Shuri take a bullet out of a dude in Wakanda. We never saw him die. And remember, he still had the Black Panther powers in him.
Wait, there you are. Yes. See, that was my thoughts when we first watched that movie. Like, I don't think he's dead. I don't.
I just think he passed out.
If I had a choice, that would be my choice. Is he actually has a redemption arc with this, and he takes that spot?
Mm-hmm.
But okay,
Yeah.
Grogu, what do you think?
I mean, my opinion was you cast Siri, and you make her the character. But I mean, me and you had a long conversation about it, and honestly, you changed my mind. And I think you recast it. I think we've seen it with a ton of other movies. I mean, we see it every other year with Batman. I think you recast it, and honestly, you have to honor you honor the character, which they're already doing now. You honor Chadwick, but you recast it, and I mean, I honestly think like it's the best thing for the franchise. I mean, Ace will give you his opinions in a minute, but I mean, like legitimately changed my mind. I think you recast it, and I think you do it respectfully. And I think Disney will. I think Disney's proved that they can. And I honestly think like it'll feel weird in the beginning, kind of like some of the new Batmans do, and then as we get a couple movies, like it'll feel more natural.
I absolutely 100% think they need to recast, and this is why. First of all, we have to look at what this character meant for people of color. You know what I'm saying? This is the first time we see. I mean, I know we had like Blade and stuff like that, but I'm talking about a character because Blade was like an anti-hero.
Mm-hmm.
he was scary too.
Right. But you had somebody who was in the forefront with a Captain America, an Iron Man. So this was like, I mean, the event that took place when we had Black Panther, it was a monumental thing. And so to then look at the landscape that you would then shift that to somebody else, I don't think that's the best move. I think that Marvel already had a story that they were planning to tell. We already know that T'Challa was actually going to be one of the leaders with Spider-Man of the new Avengers in the next phase, and I don't think you change that. I understand that this was a tragic event that took place, but the tragic event that took place with Chadwick Boseman should not affect the story of where Marvel was trying to go. The thing is that the great thing about the cast of Black Panther is that you have such established characters in it or portrayal you have that they would be able to still carry the story and still honor the fact that T'Challa being changed to a different character. Let me give you an example of something that happened. A lot of people don't even bring this up, but when we watched Iron Man, when we very first had the very first War Machine, that was played by Terrence Howard, and then all of a sudden we got Don Cheadle. Nobody even brings that up because it was a
I
seamless
do.
transition.
Because I was irritated that he was changed out.
Well,
I don't,
Sorry.
because I don't like
I'll
Iron
put,
Man.
I'll put you back. But
it's all good. But here's my thing. I think there are definitely incredible African American artists that can definitely come in and fill the role of T'Challa and fit in with that cast. I trust Kevin Feige and I trust oh my gosh, I can't think of his name, the director. Oh my gosh, forgive me.
Jordan, what's his name?
Oh my
Coogler,
God.
Ryan Coogler.
Ryan Coogler, my bad. Sorry, my bad, bro. But Ryan Coogler, I trust both of them that they can find the casting to replace Chadwick Boseman. Marvel already put out a very, very dope Marvel change where they put the Black Panther as the center, just like they did for Stan Lee and Captain Marvel. So they're honoring Chadwick Boseman playing the character T'Challa. But I think the character of T'Challa is important to the story of Marvel. So I think replacing him would be dope. And I could even, one of my personal picks for that would be John David Washington, Denzel Washington's son, who was in Tenet. I think he would be an incredible T'Challa.
I want to add something to this too, just with what you're saying, because you did change my mind too the other day when we were talking, and I think too we have to remember when we look back on like when this comic even first came out, like what was it back in the 70s, I think 60s or 70s, Black Panther and kind of the controversy that was around that and just kind of what he stands for, and then fast forward to what was it 2018 when Black Panther came out, or 2017. Or 4
years ago?
Well, it was Civil War
16?
where we first saw him,
yeah.
And then he came out. I mean, fast forward that many years later, here we have this, iconic character. You have, it was just amazing. They broke, box office records. It just, I don't know. And what he represents is, for people of color and stuff, and the, I don't know. So I agree with you. I think it's probably best to just recast him, because of what what T'Challa, Black Panther, stands for.
real quick, here is a picture of the two together.
Oh wow!
So
it could work, man.
I mean, I could see he's got
All he would have to do is get a dialect coach, just like Chadwick Boseman did, and I think I just think that with surrounding him with all of the other cast members. Think that they can pull it off. He's an incredible actor. He's proved it. I've seen him in Ballers. I haven't seen Black Klansman, but I heard he was incredible in that. And then I loved him in Tenet. I don't know. I think you can still honor the memory of Chadwick Boseman and still replace the character for the sake of the story. Now, if in the future the story is for T'Challa to pass and then Shuri to take the mantle like it is in the comics, that's fine. But that wasn't what they were going to do for Black Panther 2. And so let's establish this character. It wouldn't be sensible to then kill off the character if it's not for the sake of the story. And so for me, the real life tragedy of the passing of Chadwick Boseman should not affect the story of what Marvel is doing.
Right, I agree with that.
I agree.
I do, and it's because before it was Team Cap or Team Stark. I was always Team Cap. I'm not a fan of Tony Stark or Iron Man, so sorry.
Well, I have a comedian that will. I want to see your thoughts about it. I'm gonna send it to you. It's pretty funny.
Gotcha. So, of course, and me and Grogu's daddy, we've talked about this several times, is heading into the next phase with Marvel. You're going to, of course, have those teams. So it's, Spider-Man and Black Panther were kind of, going to be the ones that were past that torch. So which team are you on? So I do kind of feel that way, that, let's not take away from what Marvel is doing with the character. And yes, the real life event of what happened is awful, but I do like the direction that Marvel was going with him. So,
and obviously we know Marvel already has a plan. I mean, so I think you just continue with your plan. And if your plan is, like Ace said, if your plan is eventually to have her take over, then let her take over down the road. But you already have, the next few, what do they call them? Arcs. You have the next. Thank you.
Yeah.
You have the next 2 phases or 3 phases written. Like man, recast him, get those phases done, and then this is why we have to have theaters though, because you're not going to get an in-game size movie if they're not putting it on a theater.
And with the possible new baddie, I'm just saying.
Which next week? Yeah,
I know. We're gonna have to do it next week. Like,
yeah.
Okay, yeah, we can hit that next week. We still there's
So
so much
much.
stuff to talk
We could
about.
go for
there's
hours.
so much.
Hours.
Halo Infinite.
Every week.
We need to have a video game section next week because I want to get after Grogu's #1 fan over Halo Infinite. She's messing with my mind while I'm working, and I don't like it.
I'm sorry they mess
I
with
don't
my
like
mind.
it. I don't like it.
I was reading articles.
Like I even had to rep my my Xbox tonight. So
Nice.
yeah. Send an Xbox. Hey Xbox,
he's
you wanna send us a sponsorship?
Yeah.
If you want to sponsor us,
Hook me up.
you can give it.
Yeah.
I'll just take. the Xbox Series X. Just
Look,
hand it to me.
I've got a
That's all I
Series
have
X.
to have.
I've got a Series X. You want to send me some hoodies and some stickers, bro? I will.
Yes.
I got your back.
Yep. All day long.
Okay. Love you guys. Thank you all for watching with us. For those of you that are listening, thanks for hanging out with us. And be sure to come back every Thursday, 7:30.
Lots of nerd talk.
That's right.
Lots of nerd stuff.
All things nerdy.
So much. Talk nerdy to me.
We need t-shirts that say that.
You already know. You already know.